But Pete and Chris just wanted to pose one last question to you, and we'll start with Pete. What's some of the advice that you have to maybe new product managers out there who are getting into testing for the first time? What would you tell them as they kind of start their journey into validating and talking to their customers and getting to know them?
All right. This is sort of a cop-out answer, honestly. This is not a plug. This is not a shameless plug. But really, I would check out Centercode, the first thing I would do, because it did for me as a guy who was already underwater with the amount of work I had on me as the only real, the one product manager who was doing this, managing the entire product and multiple operating systems. And when did I have bandwidth to do any of this? And that was, setup was, for back then, this was many, many years ago now, but setup was probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a couple phone calls to sort of feel it out. And then I started getting people on. And once people were on, it really wasn't so bad to just, sort of set up the mechanisms and then repeat. And that was really easy. So that making it easy on yourself would be my advice. My way of doing that was certainly Centercode, and I think it always will be. But can you set yourself up for something repeatable that is that doesn't require so much manual intervention on your part? I can read some posts and forums, and I can download some data. That's not hard. So those things really mattered to me because I could do them quickly. And I just didn't have time for anything else. And I'm sure that if you aren't already doing customer validation, your company is probably giving you resource zero in order to accomplish any of this. You're probably just going to wing it on your own, which is exactly the position we were in, which was fine, totally understandable. But that's the way to start, is make it easy on yourself. Otherwise, you just won't do it.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, easy, repeatable, have that structure in place. Chris, are you also going to say Centercode? I mean, you are the head of marketing, so you have every right to say.
Chris's job.
Go get Centercode.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good.
It's a good. I wouldn't even say it's like a hot take, right? It's you get to know your audience. Our last guest, Paul Chen from Mattel, he was telling me a story about the first time he came into product management at I think it was at Cisco. Actually, no, it was Microsoft. It was Microsoft. And the first task that he had when he came on board was to get into support. He needed to get on like 500 calls. So he had to sit there on the phone with all these users and hear the complaints and the what's working, what's not kind of thing, and walk people through all this stuff. And he's a technical guy, so he has the background. But just hearing that, and it just puts you into a new perspective, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm going to, So I think Pete's answers is really that is establish something that you can use that's like your Google search, your ChatGPT, but for your users. So you need to have that, like, what are they doing? What are you doing today? What problems you run into? What's working? What's not? I think it's a good take.
A scalable solution that you can make yourself. Otherwise, man, it's just too hard to keep up with small tasks that have to be manually repeated.